there, viewers out there. It is Sebastian of Sebastian's Movie Game Time, and on episode 67, I'm gonna be reviewing and talking about all the Marvel movies that I have seen and ones I liked, enjoyed. So again, this is me reviewing and talking about all the Marvel films that I really like, enjoyed, that I have seen. So welcome. Um, this is what I call Sebastian's Great Marvel Movies Part 1. Uh, so let's get started. We have a first movie. We have a first Marvel superhero movie called The First X-Men. It's about a group of super mutants heroes who are under the protection of Charles Xavier, um who runs a school for mutants learning to control their ability powers. Um, this is the first X-Men. This is where we first introduced to all the characters. X-Men the first X-Men. It stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, James Marsden, Frank Me Jansen, Anna Paquin, Taylor May, Ray Park, Rebecca Romaine Stamos, and Halle Berry. The first X-Men, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. Next up, we have Daredevil. It's about an attorney man who's blind since he was a child, who sets out at night to fight crime, to find the people who are guilty that he can prove that are guilty in the court. Daredevil. It stars Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner, Michael Clark Dunklin, and Colin Farrell as Bullseye. I thought Daredevil was really great. Daredevil, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a Marvel film called Black Panther. It's about a ruler king named T'Challa, who also go by the name of Black Panther, whose home is Wakandan. Um, as he must faces a new villain threat. This is the first Black Panther. This is a great first Black Panther. The costumes, the music score, and a great a great cast. This is great. And the Marvel Black Panther character, he was first introduced in his other superhero movie called Captain America: Civil War. That was his first appearance as the Black Panther and the T'Challa character. Um, Black Panther, it stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Angela Bassett, Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, um, Forrest Whitaker, Martin Freeman, Daniel Kaluuya, Winston Duke, and Angela Bassett. Marvel's Black Panther, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have the second Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's by Scott Lang Ant-Man, um, along with the Ross, and also along with Hank Pym, as he finds out as Hank Pym finds out that his wife, it's a life in the quantum world. While at the same time, Ant-Man and the Ross, they fight they fight a new enemy. Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is a sequel to the first Ant-Man movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp. It stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, uh, Lawrence Fishburne, Walton Goggins, Michael Pena, and Hannah John Heeman. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So all the Guardians heroes, as they all meet Star-Lord's long-lasting father named Ego, as they're struggling to stay together as a team. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Look, I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought the first one was really good and fun. But I like part two, Guardians 2 better than the first. Guardians Volume 2 has great soundtrack. It stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Tom Clemente, Bradley Cooper as Rocket, Van Diesel as the voice of Baby Groot, Michael Rooker, Killian Gillen, Kieran Gillian, Sylvester Stallone. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, like I said, I like Guardians Volume 2 better than the first. I give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Logan. It's about an older mutant man named Logan who was once an X-Men, um, who 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 was a former X-Men until as Logan finds out that he must protect a young daughter who turns out to be his daughter that he never knew he had, becomes a primal target by ruthless people. Logan, this is Hugh Jackman's iconic Wolverine character, as he's much older now, as the character's much older. Logan stars Hugh Jackman, Daphne Keane, Patrick Stewart, and Boyd Holbrook. Logan, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's about Miles Morales, Spider-Man, who goes to multi-different verse worlds where he meets all the other comic book Spider-Man Valorant characters. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is a sequel to the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But I like Across the Spider-Verse way better than Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it stars the voice talents of Haley Stanfield and Oscar Isaac. I give Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called The Marvels. Yeah, we have The Marvels. It's about Cameron Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and along with a teenage girl named Kamala Khan, known as Miss Marvel, as all three team up to save the universe. The Marvels. This is a sequel to Captain Marvel, and it's kind of a sequel at the end of Miss Marvel that came on Disney Plus. Um, on the Marvels, I like the Marvels. It was so fun to see all three heroes: Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan. All three team up. It was great. The Marvel stars Brie Larson, Armand Vellani, and Samuel Jackson. I give the Marvels 3 out of 3 stars. We have a sequel, Iron Man 2. It's a sequel to the first Iron Man movie. It's about Tony Stark Iron Man who goes up against a new enemy who vows to get revenge on Tony Stark. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was the first introduction to this character named Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow character. That was her first introduction into Iron Man 2 was Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, if you're wondering. Um I like Iron Man 2. It was action packed and fun. Iron Man 2 stars Robert Downey Jr., Don Cheadle, who eventually replaced Terrence Howard's character um, in this sequel. Gwyneth Paltrow, Sam Rockwell, John Farrell, Scarlett Johansson adds her first introduction as Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and Make It Work. I thought Make It Work was great villain in Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Black Widow. It's about Avengers spy Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, who teams up with her sister as she returns to her hometown, where she teams up with her sister to as they both uncover a mysterious conspiracy. Um, Black Widow. This is obviously Natasha Romanoff's last time. This is Scarlett Johansson's last time playing the Natasha Romanoff Black Widow character. Eventually, uh, Black Widow stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Rachel Rice, and Ray Winstone. Black Widow. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's about Doctor Strange who must protect a young teenage girl from the multiverse and from. Yeah, it's about. Let me start over. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is about Doctor Strange who must protect a teenage girl from the multiverse who's being on the run and hunted by a former Avenger, the Scarlet Witch. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is a great sequel. It's a sequel to the first Doctor Strange, but this is Multiverse of Madness. It stars Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Benedict Wong, and Richard McAdams. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's a horror kind of superhero movie. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Thor: Love and Thunder. It's about the mightiest hero, Thor, who teams up with his former girlfriend, Jane, and Valkyrie as they must stop a villain named Thor the Butcher. Thor: Love and Thunder. This is the most fun Thor movie I could possibly enjoy. Thor: Love and Thunder. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, Russell Crowe, and Christian Bale. Thor: Love and Thunder. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Madam Web. It's about a paramedic woman who discovers that she has ability powers as she must protect 3 other teenage girls from a ruthless businessman who sees all 3 of the teenage girls a threat. Madam Web, this is I know a lot of people didn't care for Madam Web, or it didn't do good when it first when it first came out, but I liked Madam Web. I really enjoyed it. I got no problems with the movie, despite what a lot of people think about it. Madam Web, it stars Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Moner, Emma Roberts, Mike Epps, and Adam Scott. Madam Web, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have Deadpool and Wolverine. It's about anti-hero Deadpool who teams up with mutant hero Wolverine as they get sucked into the multiverse. I think most put their differences aside and help each other out. Deadpool and Wolverine. This is finally the anti-hero Deadpool and Wolverine. They first clashed together. It's really funny. Deadpool Wolverine is directed by Sean Levy. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Jennifer Garner, Wesley Snipes, Channing Tatum, Daphne King, Ray Park, Taylor May. Um, Deadpool and Wolverine. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have the first Avengers. This is the first Avengers movie that gathered all the superheroes come together. As the Avengers must all come together to save New York from a global alien invasion. The Avengers. Well, this is the first Avengers that started it all. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, and Colby Schmollers. And also in Marvel's first Avengers, this is also when we're first introduced to another Marvel character was this first Avengers movie. This is where we first introduced this 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 well, she's not a hero. She's more like an agent who works for Shield. And the agent's name happens to be Maria Hill. Agent Maria Hill. This is where we first introduced the character Agent Maria Hill. This is the first Avengers where we first meet her character, and you see the same character Agent Maria Hill lead up to Secret Invasion years later on Disney Plus. So it was great to see the first Avengers because Agent Maria Hill. This is her first a character's first appearance. So it was great to see her character popped up in this Avengers film. The Avengers, I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have Avengers Endgame. It's Avengers Endgame. It picks up immediately after the most devastating events of happened at the end of Avengers Infinity War. My God, I totally regret after watching Avengers Infinity War. But anyways, so Avengers Endgame, it takes place after the devastating events that happened in Avengers Infinity War, lead up to Avengers Endgame, where the last remaining, mightiest superheroes as they all come together to go to the different multiverse from the past to collect each of the Infinity Stones before the Gaunt Giant, before the giant Titan, Thanos gets his hands on all the Infinity Stones and plan to restore and change the events history. Like I said, Avengers Endgame. It is a sequel. It is a sequel to the first. It picks up immediately after the events of Avengers Infinity War happened. Avengers Endgame picks up after what Infinity War ended. Avengers Endgame. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd, Zoe Saldana, Josh Brolin, and it was great to see. And it was great to see. It was great to see Robert Redford come back and appear in the scene because he was in the Winter Soldier, Captain America, and it was great to see. It was great to see Rene Russo come back from the second Thor movie. So it was great that those two made appearance. Avengers Endgame. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. We have a movie called Thunderbolts, or also known as the New Avengers, however you want to call them. Thunderbolts. It's about a ragtag. It's about a ragtag group. It's about a ragtag team or group, unknown hero of anti-heroes who team up to stop an evil, dangerous threat. Thunderbolts. This is or the New Avengers, however you want to call it. Basically, I just call it Thunderbolts because they're not actually the New Avengers. I basically call them Thunderbolts. It stars Florence Pugh, Wyatt Russell, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, John Keeman, and Julia Louis Dreyfus and Louis Pullman. Thunderbolts. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. And finally, we have a movie called Fantastic Four: The First Steps. It's about a family who called themselves the Fantastic Four as they must save the world and Earth from the Silver Surfer and a new dangerous enemy threat who goes by the name of Galactus. Fantastic Four: The First Steps. This is a great Fantastic Four movie. I really had a good time. It stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer. Um, Fantastic Four: The First Steps. I give it 3 out of 3 stars. Okay, everybody, that will do it for Sebastian's Marvel movies, part 1 and episode 67. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and get new content episodes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you at the movies.